in the life of the youth. We thank you for the members of Good Samaritan Compassionate Center, the president, the chairman, the vice chairman, and all the members. We thank you for the chief of police and his escort who came to support the great work. We ask that your spirit be with us, that everything that we do will be guided by your spirit. This is a humble prayer. In the name of your son, Jesus, we do pray. Amen. Amen. Please remain standing for the Star Spangled Banner. They will play it for us and then followed by the Haitian national anthem. Center, the president, the chairman, the vice chairman, and all the members. By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose rust rise and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's breath blurred the most blessed air. Gaze proof through the night that death was there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the free? May the heaven-rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquering walls where our constitutions, and these be our motto. In God is our trust, and the star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the great. Please remain standing for the Haitian national anthem. have that? You may be seated. Come on, Willa. How you doing, guys? You all right? So we are here today, Good Samaritan Compassionate Center, Good Youth Against Drug. It's a program, it's a core program of Good Samaritan Compassionate Center, an organization created by the great visionary Fano Iglesias. He's right over there. He's one of the hardest working men that I have never known. He devoted all his life to support and help youth here in Haiti as well. I call him my man, my mentor. We are here because we like to discuss how drug affected the life of our youth, and then we need to do something. Good Samaritan Compassionate Center didn't want to remain silent. We decided to put together this event so we can share our thought with our youth, those who are here and those who are watching via Facebook, to know the danger of drug use. And tonight, we have with us a great man. Chief Anthony Marag is the 11th chief of the Department of Randolph, Town of Randolph Police Department. He served first ever resource officer from 2004 to 2008. He has spent more than 25 years with the Randolph Police Department, starting as a patrol officer around 1996. In this position, he served as the drug abuse resistant educator officer for 5th grader. No wonder why we chose him to be here today. He attained the rank of detective in 2004 and was a member of the Youth Violent Unit. Chief Marag served at the department first ever school resource officer from 2004 to 2008. As a school resource officer, he developed and implemented youth outreach program, including a 3-on-3 basketball program and decision-making program for students. He was promoted to the rank of detective sergeant in 2008, detective lieutenant in 2014, thank God for that, and lieutenant in 2015. This man keep getting promoted because he's good at what he does. Most recently, he held the position of Commander of Investigative Services, where he served as the Bureau of Criminal Investigation Commander, Internal Affairs, Commander for Emergency Management Liaison. He also worked as the background investigation coordinator. He has been involved in the interview process for new police recruits. Officer Marag is one of the co-founders of the South Shore Youth Crime Task Force, which was founded in 2008. Within the department, he has also served as South Shore Drug Task Force liaison, a member of Randolph Police Honor Guard and Randolph Police Community Focus Group. Mes amis. He founded the Randolph Police Fitness Cup, a 90 days challenge for officers that take place annually and is part of a larger ongoing health and wellness initiative at the department. Officers donate money to compete in the event each year, and the funds are then used to support various fundraising efforts. As the department new chief, my chief, Marag, plan to focus on a unified approach to policing, which is incorporate intelligence-led policing and community outreach practice to focus resources and address issues that affect the community. He also plans to expand officers training, prioritize comprehensive officer safety and wellness strategy, implement new recruitment program, and institute new technology. Officer Chief Marag is a two-time recipient of the Robert B. Dana Distinguished Service Award and recipient of FBI LEVE Trilogy and Award for Leadership Training. He holds a bachelor degree from Curry College and a master's degree in criminal justice from Maria College. He has also completed training in the intelligence-led policing and Roger Williams Haiti, all over the world, who not too fluent in English, but I try to do the Haitian equivalent for you.
Okay, thank you. So my idea is community partnerships and outreach, and that's what the future is.
Idée moi c'est faire partnership avec communauté et finir ça nous les outreach là, aller chercher, aller venir nous, c'est ça le travail de faire comme police, chief.
So you being here tonight shows that you want to make a commitment and you want to move forward.
Ou men qui là, je dis, à montrer vraiment un commitment ou t'as remis nous à aller vers l'avant.
And I brought some officers here tonight because it's not just me.
Mais avec moi quelques officiers à soir, c'est pas moi-même seulement, moi venir avec l'autre officier qui est ensemble avec moi qui est sur gauche là.
So I brought Sergeant O'Neill.
Moi venir avec moi Sergent O'Neill.
And Officer Dupeval.
Et avec officier Dupeval, je pense que c'est haïtien qui est. On nous prend la même chose non.
And these officers are just one of many within the department, but they have specific roles. And I brought Sergeant O'Neill because he has a huge part in regards to overdoses and follow-ups and tracking. And he really is a great resource for this department. And I also brought Officer Dupeval, who really is a leader in the community. And he's going to be one of the focal points to have outreach within the Haitian community and these community partnerships, which I'm going to build to embrace input from everyone so we can all be on the same page as we move forward.
Ok, so, moun sa ko là seulement qui dans département, qui a plusieurs autres moun, mais moun sa spécifiquement comme officier O'Neill, lui-même les responsables dans le département pour travailler avec ça, nous les overdose, si moun ka prend drogue qui va overdose, qui overdose tête yo, et aussi tout nous gain officier Dupeval, lui-même liaison avec un département avec la communauté haïtienne, c'est ça d'arrêt pour que tout le monde travaille ensemble.
You know, also the group that together, it is so important. Amazing work, and I'm so impressed that you could get these people here tonight, everybody on the same page. And I anticipate for us as a police department, this is just the jumping off point. This is our starting point. This won't be the last time you see it.
Moi, content pour le groupe ça qui mettait activité ça ensemble, c'est un point de départ qui est lié et réaliser que son point de départ côté que en commencement et c'est là nous commencer et avec ça nous aller un plus loin. En d'autres termes, c'est ça le dire.
So to touch on a few things regarding drug abuse and substance abuse, and I just want to give you some stats, and I don't want to bore you with stats.
Madame, même que on nous énué par statistiques qui m'a bawa des chiffres qui m'a bawa, mais l'important pour des chiffres concernant drug abuse and use dans la communauté.
So the stats know to show a pattern. We need to track these things so we can better address it within the community.
C'est très important pour nous capables tracer côté où sortir, chercher où côté où sortir pour nous capables garder analyser d'état que nous gagnons pour nous connaître qui chante que nous capables faire face avec problème.
So we're seeing a trend.
Nous voyons on marche cap monter on trend ça veut dire qu'ils sont on marche lié.
So back in 2018,
aux environs de 2018,
36 overdoses.
il y a 36 personnes qui étaient overdose.
And now, in 2020, we had 49.
En 2020, de montée, nous avons 49.
With that, we had fatal drug overdoses.
Et
7 in 2019.
En 2019, il y a 7 personnes qui étaient mortes dans drogue overdose.
2 in 2020.
En 2020, nous avons 2 qui étaient morts avec drogue overdose.
And 1 this year.
Année ça qui fait commencer à qui a un jeune, un monde qui mourit dans sa les drogue overdose.
So, yes, it's the right direction.
Nous capables là de pas qu'à faire non bonne direction.
One is too many.
Mais nous on seul qui mourit de trop monde qui mourit, nous capables faire plus que ça.
And overall in New England, since the pandemic started, there's been a 10% increase in overdoses.
En Nouvelle-Angleterre, depuis la pandémie a commencé, COVID-19, là, nous sommes capables de qu'il y ait un taux de drogue overuse dans New England.
And this is directly related, since the pandemic started, to substance abuse.
Ça est capable en relation parce que depuis la pandémie a commencé, que tout le monde y aller essayer.
Within our community, though, our numbers are lower than other South.
Ça nous capable de dire, Randolph, les chiffres les plus bas de l'autre communauté. Bon Dieu merci pour ça.
And on our end, as a police department, what can we offer?
Étant que chef police là, ça nous même bon côté pas le département, il a fait pour réduire drogue overdose dans Randolph.
And there are 3 areas that we focus on.
Que nous-mêmes dans la un programme que nous commençons programme dans l'école là, programme ça les NAM.
And this stands for Students Owning Life Decisions.
Et c'est un acronyme qui signifie étudiant.
And officers volunteer their time in the school to teach this decision making. Also focuses on finding healthy alternatives and supporting each other.
Et aussi, nous cherchons moyen pour monter
SIMS
Programme ça gen pour acronyme STEMS.
Critical Incident Management System.
C'est un système de critique de mettre des décisions chaotiques.
And this is what Sergeant O'Neill.
Comme ça, Sergent O'Neill sur la main gauche.
And it's a great resource for people with youth families.
C'est une source de formation pour même pour monde qui a un problème d'organisme et tout pour famille monde qui affecté par l'organisme.
Doses within the resources in outreach to the families and to the youth and the community.
Aspect d'un programme là, c'est contrôler combien doit couvrir et puis déterminer combien doit couvrir monde qui a problème là et aussi avec nous faire face avec conditions.
Part of the program also is that all our officers are trained in Narcan and Can, which for opioids.
Tout officier ça tout les moun nan overdose c'est premier médicament qui va aider moun nan à mourir avec.
Direct correlation to our numbers being down for fatals is the officers cash products.
C'est ça qui fait nous gagner un taux de mortalité. Officier ça que nous gagnons, yo drogue ça nan mais yo un médicament si que moun nan overdose yo ka bay moun nan médicament pour capable aider moun nan en condition déplorée.
Another part of rehabilitation. This is new to the town.
Qui est une nouvelle étape encore, une nouvelle étape, c'est que qui est très nouveau dans le town Randolph là, dans la ville de Randolph là.
And I'm extremely excited. We are going to announce it soon to the town, but we'll let you know right now because I'm here.
Je suis réellement content de ça et nous pouvons même annoncer là avec la grande foule, mais le fait que nous même là spécial, n'a pas alliés.
So what we have done is we have partnered with Manette Healthcare Services.
Nous entrés en un partenariat avec un centre de santé qui est Manette Community Health Center, centre de santé.
So we have signed a memorandum of agreement to have their assistance.
Un contrat que Town a signé avec centre de santé ça pour capable travailler des concerts.
And what it does, it assigns a clinician to go out and assist the officers with outreach to the families, and the clinician can be that link to resources, so nobody feels alone. I think it is cutting at the forefront and one of the only communities around that have partnered with Manette. So I think it's going to be a positive for us. I
pense que
know
ça va être positif, ça qui va faire que santé ça ils ont expert en cliniciens, ils capable infirmière, capable travailler service social, ils travaillent de partnership avec officiers ça qui capable travailler comme une liaison famille et centre santé avec police là pour capable aussi réduire taux overdose dans la communauté et c'est Randolph seulement qui gagne cette opportunité ça pour travailler en partenariat avec un centre de santé pour un programme tel comme.
So I spoke about the two phases, and the third phase being enforcement, but I really won't spend a lot of time on it.
Nous parlons de première étape là, deuxième étape là, troisième étape là, c'est enfin côté la loi, l'État lui-même, il prend des lois agir, mais c'est pas lui-même à focuser plus, pas passer en pile temps là-dedans.
One thing I will say from my years of experience is a focus on high-level supplies coming into our community is always just with enforcement.
Bon, et nous capables de comprendre, étant que nous avons posé ça pendant longtemps, à cause d'expérience, nous réalisons qu'on supply, avec des pile produits avec des effets néfastes qui entrent dans la communauté et police, comme départemental, nous supposons faire tout effort nous, pour nous capables prendre en considération ce dossier, pour nous capables de stopper supply qui va entrer dans la town.
So what I would say is that we should work together.
Ça t'a remis dit en mot final, ça veut dire que nous ensemble.
It needs to be a collaborative effort within our community.
Un esprit de collaboration, nous travaillons des conseils l'un avec l'autre.
Parents, I ask you to talk to your kids.
Parents, yo, me demande s'il vous plaît pour parler avec petit tout.
Those difficult discussions.
Vous devez gagner des discussions qui sont extrêmement difficiles avec petit tout.
We have them all the time.
Nous avons toujours gagné discussion ça malgré capable paraître un petit peu difficile mais nécessaire pour toujours parler avec petit tout le temps.
And to the youth, especially in this room tonight,
On va parler avec jeunes yo qui dans salle là ce soir.
I am so impressed that you're here on a Saturday night
Mais
with your
content
families.
ou vin là asseoir avec famille ça fait que
you are the future leaders.
Vous c'est futur leader comme ici ou de l'autre côté.
I ask the youth to educate themselves.
Les font effort pour éduquer propre tête par
and support each other. Be there for one another.
Support. Mettez là pour yon l'autre.
Make sure no we are here for you.
Et Randolph Police Department dans la ville de yo là pour même yo c'est ça mon pas besoin de la police. You don't have to be haïtien qui est lié, son ressource O'Neill right there. They are your friend. They are not your enemy. Where some right now is moving in the right direction.
Yeah. I see when so
I was a victim of that. The police officer even he didn't know why he's giving me the ticket. I asked him why. Just to give me the ticket, he decided to give me the ticket and had my car towed for no reason. Because my inspection was expired, I believe. And the inspection ticket was not expired. So
Right, what I have to say is it's important interactions, and I understand it's a negative interaction that you had.
je comprends l'interaction qui était négative que tu gagnes,
Negative interactions through a community.
pas affecter yon
Certain things we have to enforce.
débat que nous devons faire pour plus.
I always agree that when you educate people, stern officer no connection, I go and talk and interact with those opportunities. Yeah, you can build bonds. It doesn't have to be an enforcement at time. You can just be cars. Can you slow down? Then we have a lot of small children in this area, and sometimes they're out playing around the yard. Those kind of interactions.
Parce qu'il y a un peu de façon que nous disons en police, automatiquement, c'est un ticket balai, ça taille dans citation, il est capable de conversation, regarder, ou courir, à faire excès de vitesse, qu'un petit monde qui a traversé l'arrière, qu'un petit monde de l'école qui a traversé, il t'a préférable ou t'as slow down, ou t'as essayé de contrôler la speed vitesse, mais pas besoin automatiquement un ticket ou bien un citation.
And I want to say my idea is to have everyone involved in the department. Not only does Chief Marag show up, but I want these other officers a part of it. And we're going to put officers on Facebook and Promenade. You'll meet Officer Duval explaining why we were there that day. So I want you officers in the community. There isn't this barrier.
Avec nous, à poser pour pas tant que vous dans la solide ou bien un monde qui là de capable poser question.
Not a question. I
would like to say good evening. I was invited to there tonight. I don't regret that I came. I think this initiative is really good. For the youth of today. Somebody like direction, guidance. Thank you, I keep with my family. So very much, I hope this is not the last view, because it's already open to you at any time we call you, we'll come back again to speak, because we need you and they need you as well.
You and your family for coming tonight.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, our chief.
Oh.
We don't do it like that. Haitian, when you do it, we do it big. We love it.
Acknowledgement presents Blake is given by Jeunesse Contre la Drogue, Youth Against Drug, and appreciate for your dedication. Impressive achievement. You have exemplified the character traits of devotion to duty, brotherly love for your officers, sincerity of purpose, and genuine concern for all. Thank you for providing such significant service. Citizen of the great town of Randolph. Man, you deserve it. Can I give you a hug?
All right, now we
love you. Thank you so much. Yes. Come on, put your hands together for our chief police officer, please. Yeah. We need him. May God protect him. So please. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Now we ask all the members of Youth Against Drug to come forward.
Just come
the officers, come on, please, guys.
All the officers, let's take a one-shot picture, please.
Yeah.
To put in our archive en français.
We're gonna put the officers next to the chief.
Yes.
The one, yeah. And the chief will be in the middle of them.
Yes.
That's how we do it here.
And don't forget to continue to pray for chief, okay? You need your prayer. Amen. Okay. Thank you. Put your hands together for our chief again. Please. Thank you so much. Put your hands together for O'Neill. On nous bat un sac passé avec du péval, sac passé. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Before I go, thank you very much. This is going right on the wall in my office. Feel free to stop by and visit.
God bless you. Thank you. We love you. Thank you.
Comment nous y est? Fano faut foncer. Mon yo besoin de. Bonsoir tout le monde, c'est un plaisir pour nous là asseoir, pour nous recevoir dans cette soleil levé.
Yes.
Dans l'occasion, groupe jeunesse contre la drogue choisi pour faire petit parler avec jeunes nous et puis avec ces problèmes drogue qui gagnent dans la communauté noire. Non pas c'est Gerline Petit, il y a un potorique garçon avec moi asseoir.
C'est France Louisia.
Et nous espérons que nous pourrons passer un bon moment ensemble.
Et nous déjà contents d'avoir que le chief Marc recevoir en plaque de Jeunesse contre la drogue. N'a dit encore une fois applaudi Jeunesse contre la drogue pour chief. When I say everybody have to applaud because youth against drugs giving the plaque to you. Then we're so happy to see that, and we want everybody to be clap. Yes.
C'est un privilège pour nous, pour la communauté haïtienne, pour jeunes yo, gagner une organisation tant que jeunesse contre la drogue qui a pensé et travaille pour yo. Je suis sûr que 10 ans avant, 20 ans avant, gagner un pile moment avec papa petit dans la communauté qui t'a content et d'accord gagner une organisation comme ça qui pense, qui traîne. Ça t'a évité le douleur que nous gagnons, que nous déséchons le dans les yeux nous. Quantité de perte que nous faisons dans la communauté, nous t'avons épargné. Qui donc
Jeunesse contre la drogue will use a great organization to support you and support youth and to do education. And through this all that they do, we will save many, many lives. And we're asking you to continue to support Youth Against Drugs because the work that you're doing is very, very important.
Et ma nous pas payer 5 ans.
Don't pay any. Love the work that we are doing. So he provides this place free of charge. So you need to support SOLEY.
et puis la compa plateforme YouTube nous dit bienvenue ou du moins bonsoir à tout le monde qui est à la caillou qui a regardé et participé avec nous de une façon ou bien une autre. Mettez petit tout chita ensemble avec vous. Gentil police là t'est-il conversation ça est difficile mais faut
pas oublier que nous en direct sur la radio Planète Compa 89.3. Don't forget that we are live. We are broadcasting live on Planet Compa and Facebook and all the social channels. We chief officer, chief police state that you need to have those sincere conversations and that must take place every day.
And now we have a specialist.
Yes, we're gonna have Jake.
Nous allons joindre Jake qui c'est un guest spécial. Let me tell you about Jake. He's gonna come here
with Isha, which is
là. So let me say it in Creole and then I'll say it in English if I can. Yes, Jake is very, very, very important to me, to this organization. I learned so much from him. All I'm asking the youth right here, listen carefully. Listen carefully, pay attention. prêtez attention à ça dire. Il est très important pour moi-même. Someone qui ont témoignage, qui est capable de changer la vie. He has a testimony that can change your life. Please, forget about the food. Forget about me. Forget about anything. Forget about ideas ou bien whatever.
Or the youth.
Final. But you need to pay attention to the message from Jay.
Just like we just listen to the chief.
Mais pas attendez, les chefs là, t'as parlé, qui c'est les mêmes qui chef directeur général de la police là, même respecter parler ou by Jake because this message is very important. Message là extrêmement important.
Right after, après ça, n'a gagné Isha qui a fini compléter Jake.
After Jake, will be Isha. So pay attention. We have plenty rice, plenty chicken, a pile chili, a pile sauce. Relax. Let's have a good time. So put your hands together
for Jake.
For Jake.
Et puis, pas oublier ou même qui a regardé nos live sur Facebook là, ou même qui branché sur radio Télé Planète Compas. Et prends pour nous sur gain et puis pour petit clone n'importe so gain mais ça est important pour t'attendre d'aller petit tout mettez le chita bon côté c'est moment pour nous sauver Timono pour nous sauver jeunesse là. Bonsoir Patrick.
It's time for us to save the youth. So if you are watching live, find yourself a box of popcorn, some diet soda, and all the parents, we're asking you to grab your children, sit next to your TV screen, or listen to the radio on Facebook, on YouTube. Please pay attention. This message is important. This message can save life. This message can save you money. Now we turn to a good friend of Jeunesse contre la drogue.
Voilà. Mesdames, Messieurs, Jake. Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Bonsoir, mon frères et sœurs.
And all you young kids here, I'm honored to be here in front of you guys. It's an honor. It took me a long way to get here.
Jake a parlé ni anglais ni créole. Amen. Merci.
C'est un honneur pour moi camper devant nous là, je dis. C'est libre en pile temps pour me venir là. Not only pas seulement dans le temps, but dans la mentalité avec émotion. It took me a long time to get here.
Check.
Not only chronologically, but also in terms of mentality and emotions. Before I begin, I want to give a great thanks to Youth Against Drugs. Avant de commencer business, je merci avec la jeunesse. They gave me a great opportunity to be here. And a little bit of work that I did with them. C'était une bonne opportunité pour me camper devant là et me battre faire un peu de travail. C'est 4 ans de cela que j'ai commencé à travailler avec. 4 years ago, I started working with them, and I was still incarcerated. And that work led me here. Travail ça m'a fait avec 4 ans de cela, mais je là aujourd'hui. So, Mr. Fano, my special guy, Marge, who's not here, of course, Funds, Mr. Adias, since prison, we've been talking, and everyone else, of course, Dr. Woody, where are you? And of course, yes, Ms. Danik, right? If I forget anybody, please forgive me. Right? Tout le monde ça, moi, l'homme, c'est pas un monde ça qui était toujours là, qui travaille avec, qui me support, spécialement M. Fano. This man helped me get a job. C'est M. qui aide me de travail, so, absolutely, he deserves it. Yes. So, before I go any further, once again, I'd like to thank the chief and his group and his party. It's great work that the Randolph Police Department is doing. I happen to be a resident of your town. And, and what can I say? My experience growing up in Dorchester, my experience with the police wasn't that good. Most of it on my part, and admittedly so. So, of course, seeing all the good work you guys are doing, I appreciate it. And I'm here, it pleases me a lot. So, m'dedi police là, chef police là, merci beaucoup pour le bon travail à fait. Parce que l'homme dans Dorchester, moi t'ai grandi, expérience, moi interaction avec les policiers, pas de jambes positifs. Mais c'est parce que c'est ton vagabond t'ai laissé ça. M'dei toujours fait bagaille mal, so of course, c'est ça on va recevoir. So for those who don't know, pour moun qui pas connaît moi, my name is Jack, but I go by Jay. Some people call me Jake. It's okay, I don't mind. You don't call me late for dinner, that's cool. Right? Nom c'est Jacques, but moun call him Jay. But get moun call him Jake. It's okay. C'est même pas. Right, so, comme on te dit, non, on te prend son route long, on te prend qui fait privé. It was a long journey for me to get here, like guys. Il prend 26 ans, 25 ans, 10 mois. Je just dit 26 ans en prison. It took me 25 years, 10 months to get here, mentally, of course. That's how long I spent in prison. I might as well say 26. That was the consequence for the crazy life that I led. I grew up in Dorchester. I hit the streets when I was in my early teens, started doing crazy, stupid things. You name it, I was abordage depuis dans 14, 15, 16 ans, commencé à faire vagabond. Vendre, avec So, en conséquence, qualité de vie ça, l'homme qui a 24 ans, il a dans la prison. L'homme dans la prison, il était presque, il était voulu prendre toute la vie dans la prison. Bon Dieu fait, c'est 25 ans à 38 ans en prison. Wow. Yes, my crazy life, my street life, criminal life, which I started in my teens, eventually got me incarcerated. Felony murder charges. Enough to get got a 25 to 38 year sentence for it. As soon as I hit prison, the first day that I got in prison, that's the day, it was 95. I think it was in June 9. From that day on to prison, my journey from prison back to program when moi écrit ma l'école. Toute petite activité me qu'a fait pour qu'il y ait des têtes moi. MCI Northwood. That's one of the biggest prisons in Massachusetts. Yeah. Into that. And ended up 6.5 ago. Quitté l'université, quitté fait pour. So, m'entraîne pour un test. Mathématiques, mais pas de bon. First test time I went for the BU thing, I didn't pass it because you had to take a test. My math, was ended, so I failed. But did it again next year. Made it. So, I'm entré dans la prison, collège là, moi, 6 ans et demi. Moi, gradué dans le collège avec un bachelor's degree in liberal arts. Yeah. Après collège, moi, allé dans barber school, l'école pour qui apprenne à faire cheveux. Après 1 an et demi, moi, pour licence, moi, c'est qu'on y a ma travail as a barber, in Brockton. If you need a good haircut, come see me, 105 Main Street. Right? So, il y a ma travail dans Brockton as a barber, ma coupe de cheveux. C'est M. Fano avec la jeunesse contre la drogue qui était des positions ça. So, at this moment, si il y a des gens qui ont des bagages moi te dit qu'on pas comprendre, s'il vous plaît, faites-moi connaître avant de continuer. If there's anything else I said you want me to clarify, please let me know before I move on. Okay.
So how was life?
We're going to get to that right
Yes.
now. I'm about to
Life
transition.
in prison.
Once again, people, 26 years in prison,
Fellas.
you know, most of my productive years. I went in at 24, I came out, I was 50. I'm giving carte, I'm sorti là 50 ans. Tout le temps, ça, c'est là pour on a bâti la vie, mais je passe en prison. C'est qu'on a recommencé. Moi, j'ai 6 mois, 7 mois depuis there. You see, I went to prison once again at 24, came out at 50. All my productive years spent in prison. I am now starting over. Kids I went to high school, they're retiring now. And I'm a grandfather, they're grandfathers. We're talking about our grandkids. You know, they want to take their grandkids vacations. I can't do that yet. Not financially. You know, I still have legal, I'm on parole. I still have legal restrictions. Après 26 ans en prison, je ne suis still pas de liberté totalement. Moi, dans parole, ça veut dire que, étant comme dans prison, toujours bon de ça fait en prison, en dehors, dans la communauté. Je ne peux pas voyager sans une permission. Je ne peux pas aller en Rhode Island sans une bonne permission. Et pour me la moi, avant 10 heures du soir. But yes, I have curfew bracelet on. I have parole for 7 years. Yes, I do.
Yeah. You gonna waste that? Give me the ruling. Give you. Make your mind. Right there. You sleep with it right there.
That's the consequence of. You see?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, so as you can see, I have nothing to hide. I do have guilt. I live with regret for the victims. My actions caused a lot of person. I'm gonna have it for the rest. I was raised by my grandmother. She treated me like a prince. You know, sans bracelet monté à ses conséquences la vie criminelle moi t'a vivre là. You know, en pile monde saute dans prison yo caché. You know, yo pas vle moun connaît yo te dans prison, yo pas vle moun connaît pour qui ça yo te dans prison. You know, moi même pas gen problème ça parce que m pas fait pour mon criminel. C'est grand moi qui levé, grand moi son haïtien nité. Maman c'était haïtienne, papa m pas haïtien. You know, and grand moi bon bien levé. Toute manière nous connaît yo grand moi L'aime sorti dans vagabondage, moi mettre tout bagage ça sur côté. Bon, les moi grand tête moi, toute manière, tout élément sophistication grand moi te mettre dans moi-même, yo retourner. My mother raised me to be a gentleman. She was an old Haitian woman. My mother was Haitian, my father was not. This explains this. Yeah, and I'm a Haitian. I have levels of pride in the streets, all the good mannerisms, all my upbringing. You know, I fait longtemps de Port-au-Prince, c'est monsieur qui presse là dans Port-au-Prince. C'est parce que c'est comme ça que grand élevé moi. And that's who I am right now. I have become the person that my grandma wanted me to be, although 20 some years late, but never too late. Better late than never. So, you know, There are different jail. You have your state prison, which is where I was at. You have the federal system. We're talking about the state prison system. You know, when you go to prison, you are in a society that is populated by the worst kinds of people that you can imagine. Worst in every way. Once again, I was in prison. There are some people in prison I would not want to live next door to. And I have said that in groups in prison. You see, I have said that, and I will continue to say that for particular reasons. Prison life for most people, most young guys, you gotta listen to this. A lot of people think prison life is all about the physical fear. That's secondary. That's like third tier level fear. Right? Prison, you will find that after a few years in prison, once you assert yourself, you can always defend yourself. Once you defend yourself once or twice, no one's gonna mess with you. Psychological, it's emotional, it's the little things like this that you've taken for granted. That's what's gonna eat you up. Lò nan prison, c'est pas gros bagay yo. Tout le monde connaît que mon a venu faire violence ou mon a essayé violer ou ça fait tout bon. But majorité des fois, c'est pas ça qu'a bon. Parce que tout le monde là a défendu. Et pour défendre tout, mon a quitté en repos. Okay? Non seulement ses amis ou été pas en prison. Toute communauté gen ti société pa yo pour leur venir en prison pour qu'ils recevoir. OK? Si vous avez un problème, vous pouvez aider. C'est leur coucher pour contrôler dans la chambre. Les lumières ont tué, qu'on y a dans la tête, ou à calculer la vie. 2h, 3h du matin, on ne peut pas dormir. Mais ou malade, ou pas carrelé, ou bien ou malade, ou pas carrelé. Ou elle est là, caillon, toute famille en ont fait. Voilà. You know, the real pain, the real punishment in prison is psychological and emotional. A lot of people think, once you go to prison, people are going to try to rape you or do things. It does happen, but you will eventually learn to defend yourself and speak up for yourself, assert yourself. Once you do that, once, twice, you're good. Of course, you're going to be on guard. You don't just do it once or twice and everything's all set. No. You're going to have to protect yourself. You're going to have to be strong mentally and physically. But the real punishment, being in there by yourself. Thank you, sir. And the consequences of that. Thank you. The consequences of being in prison for that long, it's infinite. You go to a potential. You come out of prison, the amount of jobs that you qualify for are very limited. Reduced. Depending on what charges that you have, there are certain things you cannot do. You cannot get a loan in some cases. You can't get, you can't live in certain, you cannot go to back like myself. Once again, I'm 25, 26 years. Too late in the game of life. I have to start all over again. 90, man. You see? Inside prison, once again, kinds of people, different kinds of people. Criminals who don't care about the world, who just want to see the world burn. Young guys, this is for you guys. You see this here, I was a lucky person. When I was on the street, I used to associate with all the gangs and the worst kinds of people. So in prison, it was the same kind of people who was out there that I was meeting. I had no fear of certain things happening, but I was lucky. Many of you guys, I'm not saying any one of you will go to prison, but if you do not take the proper path in life, you may end up in prison before you know it. It's not this little thing. Drugs is a sure way to get in prison. People think drugs is like marijuana. Marijuana or drug selling, drug activities can be a gateway to a criminal life, period. the best bet is to get involved. Other drugs, even worse. Someone might go for it. I'm just going to spend $20 on this. That $20 purchase may end up in I've seen it happen. In 26 years in prison, I've met people who went in there for 5 years, ended up doing 25 years. You've met guys, you say, you know what, man, I just wanted to just go for a little ride, but I didn't know this guy had a gun in the car.
Preach, boy. Say that again, please.
No, I didn't know he had a gun in the car. One thing led to another, they're in prison. You see what I'm saying? So the point is, I mean, I'm speaking English for those guys. If I have to translate, I will do that. Just let me know.
All right.
All right?
I understand you.
Prison life, we know, once again, I didn't grow up with my mom and dad, but I had a loving family. When I went to prison, my family, select members of my family, and I have to mention a couple of them. Of course, my cousin, Yannick Lyons. She was there throughout the entire time. Whatever I needed, she was there. Of course, my girlfriend, Isha, even when she was in a separate relationship, if I had her, she would be there. I've had other cousins, Fonz, same thing. I was fortunate. I was lucky. Okay, the vast majority of people who go to prison, their families cannot support them. And once again, I'm gonna make the connection to drugs. Your involvement in drugs may cause you, any one of you, don't think it cannot happen to you. Your involvement with drugs can cause you to burn bridges with your family. Now you're in prison by yourself, doing everything and anything in prison. So you can buy yourself some sneakers, some shoes, or some popcorn, so you can pop and watch the game later on tonight. I was fortunate. Now this is for the families, and I'm gonna do this bilingual. If you do have someone in prison, please give that person some support. That may be the difference between that person changing their lives or going deeper into the criminal life. Si ou gen yon fami ou ki nan, s'il vous plaît, cherchez un gens pour ka aider moun sa. Parce que les moun nan pa gen support, I'm talking about, emotional support, psychological support, moun sa kon ala chercher bagay sa ou nan men moun nan zon. And that could mean ça ka vle di yon paquet différent bagay. Tout gan pile parole nou tande que de prison c'est vérité, oui. OK? Pile parole nou tande, pile mauvais bagay c'est vérité. You see? Si ou capable supporter moun nan en prison, supporter les gens capables.
Let's say somebody just went to jail and that person doesn't know how to defend himself. What happened?
So repeat that for a second.
If someone get in trouble,
Yeah.
Let's say somebody try to attack you and you defenseless. What's gonna happen?
Oh, you will become what they call your food, your dog food. Yeah, your food. Someone attack you, you can't defend yourself. See, prison is a whole different society.
Amen.
These officers here, if my girl hits me, I'm gonna walk all the way over there and say, Chief, arrest her. See? In prison, I can't do that. If he hits me in prison, if I go to the officer and say he hit me, the officer comes up, why are you talking for? Because that's not the code in prison. Someone hits you, you have to defend yourself. Now, if this guy hits me and I can't defend myself, tomorrow he's going to say, you know what, let me get those sneakers you have on. Then after that, he's going to say, open your locker, what kind of food you have in there. You become a victim. You see, you become a victim. Family support is very key. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but we don't have that much time. But there's one key aspect of this kind of life that I want my girlfriend Aisha, my fiance, the mother of my oldest child, I'll give you a brief history. We have a 32-year history. We were together when we were 18. I was 18 and she was 17. In college, and I was a knucklehead. I messed up. And running the streets. So she moved on and she went to school, finished school. We reconnected again when I got incarcerated. There was a little drama mostly because of me. I was a knucklehead, but once again, we reconnected. We stayed connected and decided to give me another shot. And I ain't gonna mess that up. All right? I appreciate it. But she and I would talk a lot. She was one of my support systems when I was in prison. Even when she was in a relationship, if I call and say, Isha, can you help me with this? She would do it. Uh, she building to another. So I can go to what they call a CSD, Community Service Department. That's at Norfolk, MCI Norfolk. MCI Norfolk is a very different prison, not just in Massachusetts, but in the whole country. It's the only prison, it's the first prison that had an inmate council system. That means that means there's elections. The inmates have three main representatives that helps the administration run the prison. So they have election. You think politics out here is bad? You should see how it goes in the prison. It's down dirty, very bad. So at 6 o'clock, we'll go do programs. I used to run this program called AACC, which stands for African American Coalition Committee. But there's a variety of programs. We have Asians have their own programs. There's church programs. There's at least about 100 different programs at Norfolk. So we go do whatever program you do it, and 8:30 you got to go back to the unit. for 9:30 count. At 9:30, you have to be in your cell, doors locked. Lights don't have to be off because that's old system. They don't have that anymore. But you have to stay in your cell until the next morning. If you happen to be in a unit where you have a toilet in your cell, then you have to stay in your cell. But if there's no toilet in the cell, you have to use the community toilet, then you can go outside your cell only to use the toilet. That same day repeats itself. We call it Groundhog Day.
Can you come in sick or just decided to stay in bed and going to work?
Well, if you're sick, you can take the day off.
If you're not,
Oh, well, then that's when you get in trouble. That's when you get a ticket. If you say I'm sick and you can't go to work, they expect you to stay in bed. But if you say I'm sick, I can't go to work, but they see me in the West Side playing soccer, okay, they're going to say, wait a minute, you're fired and you're going to get a ticket for being out of place.
Excuse me, Jay.
Yes.
One question, then we're gonna open the mic for everybody before we listen to your lady. What happened? Do you have your own stage in jail?
No.
You can pick and choose what to eat.
No.
Because sometimes the kids, they're so lucky, they can go up and read that mom, there is no food, but the food is full. What about the food?
Remember what I said, it's the small things you take for granted. The small, that's what's going to eat you